Number 4, Onward. Onward is about two teenage elves known as In and Barley, and they go on a magic quest to try and spend one more day with their father. But they had to face some enemies like the Manticore, who then helped In and Barley's mom to help them to stay out of trouble, and the sprites, who got easily angry after they messed up their motorcycles, or if someone does something that makes them upset or angry. Now, I enjoy Onward because of its exciting adventure, story, voice acting, animation, writing, and characters. Especially Chris Pratt and Tom Holland as Ian and Barley, respectively. And those are some of the reasons why I enjoyed Onward, and that's why it deserves a number 4 spot. So, if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you watch it. Number 3 is a tie of 2 between Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Now, like Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story, I'm talking about both of these movies since both of them are in the same franchise. Let's talk about Finding Nemo first. Finding Nemo is about a clownfish named Marlin who had a kid named Nemo, and he was often overprotected of him. He had a wife named Coral, but got killed right at the beginning of the movie. Then, a scuba diver, as Philip Sherman, a dentist from the surface, caught Nemo and put him in the fish tank. So Marlin went over to try and save, and that's when he bumped into Dory, who helped Marlin be able to find Nemo. And together, they both pass through some of the ocean dangers there. And then later on in the dentist office, that's when Nemo and the other fish plan to escape the fish tank. And in Finding Dory, that follows up the events from the previous movie. That's when Dory remembers her parents, so she goes on a journey to try and find them, and she finds some old friends and meets new friends like Destiny, Hank, and Bailey. And that's when Marlin and Nemo try to be able to find Dory. Another reason why I like both of these movies is because of the cool ocean settings, the cool use of voice actors, use of characters, the animation, and overall story. And to sum it up, I recommend these movies to you to watch on Disney Plus. Now then, let's move on, shall we? Number 2, Wally. This movie is about a garbage collecting robot, as you know, Wally, and he was very lonely, with the exception of Hal, a cockbug friend. But then later on in the movie, that's when he met a white robot named Eve, who was his love interest. And then after Wally found Eve, that led to him going on a space adventure, and together both he and Eve helped get the Axiom back to Earth. Another thing I enjoy about Wally is the use of characters, including the main villain Otto, whose goal was to be able to keep control of the Axiom and not let the people there return to Earth. But luckily he got shut down. And I like the animation, the use of cast, small but good, and the story overall. And the use of live action as well, because I like live action mixed with cartoon. Overall, Wall-E is one of the best adventure films Pixar ever made, just like many of its other movies that I've mentioned, and the ones I'll get to later. So, I recommend you watch this movie. Now, before I get to my number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Incredibles. As much as I enjoy this movie because of the action and the stories they have, but the other movies I like the best of the best. Ratatouille. It would have been number 5 or 6. The Good Dinosaur. It would have been number 9 because I enjoyed it at first, but I can see why many people don't like it. So that's why it didn't make it on the list. Luca. it would have been number 3 or 2 because it's just like Finding Nemo and Dory, except it's about sea monsters. Turning Red, it would have been number 4 or 5. Up, it would have been number 7. Inside Out, it got beat out by Onward because Onward has an interesting adventure, but Inside Out has an interesting coming of age adventure as well. Brave, if I had seen it, it would have been number 10, but because I didn't put it on the list. And my number 1 most favorite Pixar movie of all time is a tie of 3 between all 3 of the Cars movies. The reason why I put these 3 movies as number 1 is because for 2 reasons. One, they're one of my favorite Pixar movies, and they're one of my favorite childhood films of all time. The first movie stars McQueen, who was on a racetrack, and then one night when he was on the way to Los Angeles for the final Piston Cup race of the season, that's when he got lost and was sentenced to community service in Radiator Springs. And then in the end of the first movie, he realized that fame isn't everything. In the second movie, McQueen got invited to the World Grand Prix with many other racers from the world, but little did he and the other racers know that the fuel they were using, all in all, were something they used to sabotage them, but McQueen didn't get sabotaged like the others. While McQueen was racing, Mater, Holly, and Finn tried to find out what was the cause of why all in all was hurting the cars and sabotaging the racers. And in the third one, that's when a new race car, Jackson Storm, keeps beating McQueen in the new races. So he tries to find the answer of how to beat him with a trainer called Cruz Ramirez. Another thing I like about the Cars movies, besides the characters and the story, is the unique car designs, the great use of the voice cast and choice, and the animation, and the settings. And to sum it up, I recommend watching these Pixar movies the most. While I think the third one is average, and I can understand why many people don't like the second one, I still recommend you watch them in the Pixar library. Well, there you go, my top 10 favorite Pixar movies. Let me know in the comments section of which of these Pixar movies are your favorite. Do you agree with my list, or do you have your own personal preference? But even though I put all the Pixar movies on this list, I still enjoy all of them no matter what. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.